It was only 2 weeks after I had started Carnivore when I went on a canoe trip with a couple of buddies. And during that trip, they noticed that I was only eating meat, and of course they asked questions. They were questions that I was not prepared for and couldn't answer. But the questions continued, and then the comments like, how can that be sustainable? And is that even ethical, eating just meat? And I felt very awkward. I felt quite stressed, quite anxious about the situation, and I went to bed thinking, this is awful. I never want to be in this situation again. I guess you've all been there when you've been invited to some event where there's food and you get there and you just feel awkward. You just feel like you're suddenly the center of attention, and that was nothing like what you wanted for that night, but suddenly you're confronted with questions that you weren't prepared to answer. You see, many of us start Carnivore like that. We get ourselves in these situations because we lack one thing. What is the one thing we lack? It's confidence. You see, confidence is a quality that will get you through anything in life, and this is especially true on the carnivore diet. We need confidence. But how do we get more confidence? Where does confidence come from? I believe that confidence is something that can be learned. You see, nobody starts off with confidence. We all start off feeling anything but confident. For example, I know when I started this video channel that I was lacking confidence. I didn't know how to talk to a camera. I didn't know how to edit a video. I didn't know how to upload it to YouTube. I didn't know how, there was 1,000 questions I had that I didn't know, and I had to learn the skills in order to get more confident. And I believe that is true with anything in life, especially the carnivore diet. You can learn confidence on the diet. In this video today, I wanted to give you 7 practical steps that are all action steps, things that you can do in order to learn more confidence on the carnivore diet, especially when you're in those awkward social situations. So, if you're listening to this, I'm talking to you. I want you to get a pad out and a pen and be ready to write these down, because this video is not giving you lofty ideas. It's giving you specific strategy steps that are all very doable, no matter who you are and at what stage you're at. These steps you can do. You can start putting them into practice even today. And as you do, you will get more confident. So they are all action steps. You can do this. You've got it. I've been working through these steps myself because I had to move from awkwardness and anxiety to a place where I feel confident being with others, eating only meat. Friend, if you're listening to this, my goal in this video and in putting this material out there is to help you become more confident. The confidence you need to master any social situation that you are confronted with. So these are action steps. These are things you can do. So get that pad and pen and we're going to jump right into it. Are you ready? You got your pen? Got your pad? Here we go. I want you to write down this. Learn more. Learn more. That is the first action step. And the principle is this, that the more you learn about something, the more confident you become. For example, pick the game of golf. The more you learn about golf, the more confident you become. The less you know about golf, the less confident and the more anxious you're going to be when people ask you questions. I've used the example of golf, but it could be anything. We're talking about the carnivore diet. So what you need to do is to learn more about this diet. There is a wealth of information out there. I suggest, if you don't know where to start, that you get a hold of Dr. Shawn Baker's book, simply entitled The Carnivore Diet. That book is a groundmark book that will teach you all of the basic essential elements of the carnivore diet, how to get started, where it came from, why it works. He will explain the science behind it, so that if you read that book and study it, you will have a greater grasp of the knowledge of this diet than what you had before. And particularly research those questions that you know you're going to get asked. Somebody's going to say, oh, you're going to get scurvy. Well, do some research on that. Someone's going to say you won't get the nutrients that you need. Well, do some research on that and have some ready answers that you've planned out to answer people when you're confronted with those situations. So learn more. The second step is this. Write this one down. Plan before you go. Plan before you go. That means before you go into any situation that involves other people and other food, then you've got to have a plan in mind before you go. You see, every battle in life is won before it's fought. You think about it. You've got to have an action plan. You've got to be able to think in advance what you're going to do when you get into that situation. It is no good going headfirst into a situation that you know is going to be awkward and thinking, I never gave this a prior thought. What the heck am I going to do now I'm here? You see, you don't want to be in that situation. It's a bit like me switching on the record button on the video camera just now. If I hadn't thought through in advance what I was going to say, I would be all over the place and this video would lack any sort of structure at all and you would have turned off by now. You see, you've got to think through what you're going to do in advance. What is going to be your strategy? Now, the strategy might vary depending on the situation that you are walking into. Maybe you could take your own food if you're really concerned. Another strategy might be to eat before you go, so that when you get there, you can simply enjoy the company of your friends, having nothing but a glass of water and enjoying the night immensely. So think about some strategies. If it involves going to a restaurant, then have a look on the website and have a look at the menu of that restaurant and see what menu options there are. Maybe there's a dish there that could be modified when you get there. You can simply ask the waitress or the waiter, can that dish be modified to be meat only? You see, you've got to think about these situations in advance because this battle is going to be won before it's fought. You're going to win this battle at home, not when you walk into the room with the people. So plan ahead. That's number 2. Okay, action step number 3 is this. Communicate clearly. Communicate clearly. Now, this communication will flow more easily when you know more, as I said in point 1, so that the more you know, the more you'll be ready to communicate. But people are going to ask you questions. So communicate graciously, politely, but clearly. When you are offered something to eat that you really know you cannot eat, then simply be polite and gracious, but stay true to who you are and communicate clearly, openly, and honestly. The principle here is that if you don't make a big fuss about it, then the people around you won't either. But the bigger fuss you make about it, the more fuss they're going to make about it. So simply zip it up and enjoy the company around you and enjoy a glass of water or some meat if it's available, and don't let it bother you, but communicate clearly and graciously and deflect the attention away from food and onto the interesting people that are sharing the table with you. They're the ones that really matter anyway. So that is step number 3. Action step number 4 is this. Focus on the people, not upon the food. Focus on people, not on food. This is a really empowering principle and one that I've built into my own life. You see, every fortnight my wife and I go to a little cafe group that meet in a cafe and we share a meal together with about 20 other people. My practice now in going to that group is simply this. I don't eat. I sit at the table simply with a glass of water. Now, that feels really weird the first time you do it, I have to admit. But now I've done it a dozen or more times, and I find it's actually quite empowering because I'm not focusing on the food, I can focus on the people either side of me, the people across the table from me, and I can engage more fully in conversation. I can be more fully present, fully engaged with the people around me. That for me is really empowering. It's been a key to get comfortable not eating or to eat something different from the rest of the group. Focus on the people. You see, these events are always about people, and when it's a big dinner, it's so easy to let the focus go onto the food and away from the people. Focus on the people. It's really empowering. It really works. It will take a bit of practice, but you will be able to do it focusing on people. Okay, action step number 5. And this one is simple. Write it down. Practice, practice, practice. Yes, that's it. You see, the old saying is true here. Practice makes perfect. It doesn't matter what skill you're trying to learn. The first time you do it, it's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel uncomfortable because you've never done it before. But as you do it over and over and over again, you get more confident about it and you get better at it and you feel more comfortable in that situation. This is what any person playing a sport knows. You've got to practice. You've got to go over it again and again and again, and your coach will tell you, put in the reps. But here's the deal for carnivores eating with friends. The more times you do it, the more times that you successfully navigate one of those stressful situations, the easier it's going to get. You'll get to the stage where it's just second nature and it doesn't bother you in the least. I can quite honestly say now, having navigated so many social situations, not just at the cafe, but in people's homes, in our home, in going out with people, it gets easier and easier every time you do it. So don't give up, keep going, get the reps in, and you will become more confident. Action step number 6. Build a supportive network. You see, when you have good people around you, people who are understanding, people who are supportive, everything is so much easier. A lot of people run into problems in life when they're trying to do one thing, but they surround themselves with people who are doing something else entirely. That situation is always a recipe for disaster. You need to surround yourself with people who are supportive. You say, well, I don't know anybody. Well, make a diligent search in your community. Use all the creative means you can to look for and find other carnivores. But if you absolutely can't find any face-to-face relationships, then maybe you can join one of the online communities. Associated with this channel is our own Facebook group. It's simply called the Carnivore Pensioner, and it's a group of people that are supporting one another, where we go and we share experiences, we share stories, we share our frustrations, we ask questions. It's a safe place to get support. You see, the more supported you feel, the more confident you will be. You get that? The more you feel supported, the more confident you will be. So find supportive people and spend time with them and feed off each other. You become like the company you keep. I've got one more principle for you, and perhaps I've left the best till last, because this one is really important, and I want you to hear this. Get ready to write it down. Here it is. Embrace who you are. Embrace who you are. What do I mean? Well, you have made one of the biggest decisions of your life, to start the carnivore diet. Why would you do such a radical thing? Maybe you're asking yourself that question. But you did it because you wanted to do something about your health. Maybe you wanted to lose weight and get rid of blood pressure like I did. Or maybe you had all sorts of other issues that you wanted to address, things like diabetes or heart disease. There's so many reasons why. But once you've established your reason and you've made a start and you said, I'm going to do this, you've nailed your colours to the wall, you've drawn a line in the sand, well, stay true to who you are. Don't be compromised by peer pressure. Understand that you have made this decision. You are not going back. You are investing in your health, and you know what you are doing and you know why you are doing it, and nobody is going to shake you from that. You can be polite, you can be gracious, but you can also be firm and say, this is what I'm doing and it is for the sake of my own health. You see, friends, at the end of the day, what would it be worth to totally transform your health? What would it be worth to lose the weight you've carried for maybe decades? This is worth doing, so stay the course. Call yourself carnivore, call yourself what you are, stay true to who you are, and that will build confidence as you become confident in who you are. I am Larry, the carnivore pensioner. I am confident in who I am. Well, if you've been listening to this and you've been writing down those 7 steps, you have now got 7 action steps to build confidence in your life. Now, here's what I want you to know. Listen to me. Any one of these steps on their own will make you a more confident person. I can guarantee it. But here's where it gets really powerful. You combine all 7 of these steps, and you combine them together and take action on all 7, which is entirely doable. You will become a very confident person. And it will change your life. It'll change the way you approach carnivore. It will certainly change the way you approach the many previously difficult social situations that you're going to encounter. Look, friend, I believe you can do this. You've got this. You've started. You've done some hard things. So follow through on these action steps. Start putting them into practice, and you will see your confidence grow up and up and up and up. Now, I would love to hear from you about how you're getting on. Please comment. I read every comment and I answer every comment. And also, don't forget to join our Facebook group, The Carnivore Pensioner. We would love to have your company there. Look, friends, please like and subscribe to this video. I will see you on the next video, but until then, keep telling your story.